Have you ever wondered how the ancient temples of India, those magnificent structures of spirituality and culture, have faced the test of time? In the tapestry of ancient Indian civilization, temples played a pivotal role, far beyond their spiritual significance. They were not just places of worship, but also the beating heart of cultural, educational, and social life. These architectural marvels were repositories of art, culture, and knowledge, reflecting the ethos of their time and the civilization that built them. However, history isn't always kind, and many of these temples faced the wrath of time, not just from natural calamities, but also from human actions. Invasions, wars, and power struggles often led to the destruction of these temples. But the precise figures remain shrouded in history's fog, making it challenging to estimate the scale of these unfortunate events. It's essential to remember that these events were multifaceted and complex. The reasons behind temple destruction were not always religious. Sometimes it was the consequence of political conflicts, territorial conquests, or even personal vendettas. The motivations varied as much as the invaders themselves, yet these temples, in their resilience and the devotion of the people towards them, stood as silent yet powerful symbols of a civilization's spirit. Despite the numerous invasions and the destruction they brought, the essence of these temples could never be completely erased. They were rebuilt, restored, and revered, generation after generation, standing as testaments to the unyielding spirit of the civilization that birthed them. The ancient era, with its complex dynamics and interplay of various forces, laid the groundwork for the events to unfold in the future. The destruction and revival of these temples were not just isolated events, but integral parts of the greater narrative of Indian history, shaping the course of the nation, its people, and its cultural ethos. As we delve deeper into subsequent periods, we'll explore how these dynamics evolved, painting a vivid picture of India's past. So, stay with us as we navigate through the ebb and flow of history, unraveling the stories etched within the stones of these ancient temples. The ancient era, with its complex dynamics, laid the groundwork for the events to unfold in the future. Moving forward to the Mughal era, the fate of temples remained uncertain. This period, spanning from the 16th to the 19th centuries, was marked by a rich tapestry of cultural exchange, but also by periods of religious and political tension. One of these periods was under the rule of Emperor Aurangzeb, known for his orthodox views and stringent implementation of Islamic law. Historical records suggest that during his reign, an estimated 30,000 or more Hindu temples were destroyed. This figure, while staggering, underscores the scale of conflict during this period. But what were the motives behind such actions? The reasons were twofold. Firstly, Aurangzeb aimed to establish a unified empire under a single religion, Islam, leading to the destruction of temples as a means of religious suppression. Secondly, the political motive cannot be overlooked. Temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of social and economic activity. By targeting these temples, Aurangzeb sought to dismantle the socio-economic structure that these temples supported, thereby consolidating his power. However, it's important to note that this period wasn't uniformly marked by conflict. Many Mughal rulers, such as Akbar, were known for their policy of religious tolerance. They supported the construction of temples and other places of worship, fostering an atmosphere of interfaith dialogue and mutual respect. This dichotomy within the Mughal era illustrates the complexity of historical events. Temple destruction, while a part of this era's narrative, wasn't the sole defining feature. It was a period of both collaboration and conflict, with varying degrees of religious tolerance and intolerance. The Mughal era, marked by power struggles and religious conflicts, added another layer to the history of temple destruction. As we continue to delve into history, it's crucial to view these events in their nuanced context, without reducing them to mere figures or oversimplified narratives. As we travel further south to the Vijayanagara Empire, the narrative of temple destruction continues. This empire, spanning from the 14th to the 17th century, was a beacon of Hindu culture and tradition in South India. However, it was not untouched by external influences and conflicts. During this period, the Vijayanagara Empire faced numerous invasions from various sultanates. These invasions often came with harsh consequences for the local populace and their sacred spaces. Temples, the heart of spiritual and cultural life, often bore the brunt of these conflicts. Historical records indicate that several attempts were made to destroy temples in the empire. The sultanates, driven by a desire to expand their territories and influence, often targeted these structures. Temples were not just places of worship but also symbols of power and cultural identity. Damaging them was a way to assert dominance and control. Yet the story does not end here. The people of Vijayanagara were resilient. They did not let the spirit of their culture be extinguished. They rebuilt and protected their temples, preserving their heritage for future generations. Many of these temples stand tall even today, testament to the courage and resilience of the people who defended them. Let's take a moment to appreciate these architectural marvels. These are not just buildings of stone and mortar, but symbols of a people's unyielding spirit. They represent a culture's refusal to be erased, a testament to the enduring power of faith and tradition. Despite the challenges, the Vijayanagara Empire played a crucial role in preserving the rich temple traditions of the South. Their story serves as an inspiration, a reminder of the power of resilience and the enduring strength of cultural heritage. These temples, standing tall against the tests of time, continue to echo the stories of their past, whispering tales of faith, strength, and resilience. In the colonial era, the story of temples took a different turn. As foreign powers set foot on Indian soil, they brought with them new religious beliefs, ideologies, and narratives. The result was a significant shift in the spiritual and cultural milieu of India, with temples once again at the center of this transformation. During this period, many temples faced relocation or destruction, not for the purpose of plunder or religious rivalry, but as a strategy to promote new religious narratives. The colonizers, primarily the British, Portuguese, and French, sought to establish their own religious structures, often in places where temples already stood. For example, in Goa, during the Portuguese rule, several ancient Hindu temples were destroyed to make way for churches, a move that significantly altered the region's religious landscape. In other parts of India, under British rule, some temples were relocated to pave the way for development projects. The Varadaraja Perumal Temple in Kanchipuram is one such example. The temple was moved to accommodate the construction of a railway line. Despite the challenges, the relocation was carried out with immense respect, keeping in mind the religious sentiments of the people. It's essential to understand that the colonial period was not just about destruction. Some temples were also restored and protected. The British, in particular, took an interest in India's historical heritage, leading to the establishment of the Archaeological Survey of India in the mid-19th century. This body played a significant role in preserving many historical temples that were on the brink of ruin. However, the colonial era's impact was profound, leading to a shift in the religious and cultural dynamics of the country. As temples were destroyed, relocated, or transformed, the spiritual landscape of India underwent a significant change. Despite these changes, the resilience of the Indian people ensured the survival and revival of their ancient spiritual traditions. The colonial era, with its own set of challenges, left a lasting impact on the cultural and spiritual landscape of India. As we continue to delve into history, we appreciate the resilience and adaptability of cultures in the face of change and the enduring significance of temples in India's historical narrative. As we conclude our journey, it's important to reflect on the lessons history has taught us. The pages of time, inked with the tales of temple destruction in Indian history are not merely accounts of past events, but invaluable lessons that echo wisdom across ages. In the ancient times, temples, the heart and soul of Indian civilizations, bore the brunt of invasions. These structures were much more than just places of worship. They were the epitome of cultural and spiritual identity. Yet, their existence was often threatened, and many succumbed to the ravages of time and conflict. As we moved into the Mughal era, the fate of temples remained uncertain. Estimates suggest that during Aurangzeb's reign, an alarming number of Hindu temples, around 30,000 or more, were destroyed. This period was not just about the physical destruction of structures, but also about an attack on the cultural and spiritual fabric of society. The Vijayanagara Empire, however, was a beacon of hope during tumultuous times. Despite attempts by different sultanates to destroy temples, the empire stood resilient, reflecting the indomitable spirit of the Indian civilization. The colonial period, too, saw its share of temple destruction and relocation. This was a time when the rulers attempted to promote new religious narratives, often at the cost of existing cultural and religious identities. But let's not forget, history is a deep ocean, acquainting us with the countless joys and sorrows of our ancestors. It's a mirror reflecting our past, a compass guiding our present, and a beacon illuminating our future. The goal of this exploration is not to dwell on the past, but to understand history with truth, to learn from it, and to share this knowledge. And so we invite you to join us in this pursuit of wisdom. Unveil history, delve into its depths, and let its lessons shape your understanding of the world. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. Remember, history is not just about the past, it's about understanding the present and shaping the future.